Pain is passed down from father to son and son to son. A lot of pain in Troy's life is a result of the pain and the damage from his father that he then visits on his son. We have to, as black men, be mindful of that. Sometimes it's unfair, and sometimes we take it out on those we love. And I'm guilty of that frustration that we all have. But we have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers, not to just make babies, but to be real fathers. And you can't expect any good to come to you if you don't visit any good on your son or your daughter.
So Denzel brings up a good point, man, is that if we do not examine our role as a father and how we was raised as a father, unintentionally, man, we may pass down pain. So, man, welcome. My name is Nima. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I'm here just to talk about are we passing down pain to our kids? And that's one of these topics that we really got to do some real good inventory on, because if we do not intentionally explore or dive into how we parent or what message that we do, unintentionally it's going to happen. The thing is, as fathers, we are the role models, and we have a lot of influence in our households. And the influence that we want to have in our households is we want to have influence where, I want to say Cliff Huxtable, right? But y'all might ban me. So we're going to kind of change that around, right? So try to use D.L. Hughley. He was a great student, father. I know with me, what ended up happening just due to the stressors in my life, what I ended up catching myself doing was yelling a lot. I still yell, unfortunately, but I'm a recovering yellaholic, right? So with that being said, man, one thing I have to start doing is before I come into the household, I'm an individual that typically know how to point out the negative things. I'm saying all these dang negative traits about myself, or whatever, man. We fam, right? Hopefully, are we? No, I don't know, right? But don't judge me, right? So the thing is, man, we gotta do some self-awareness. That's step one, man. Are you a yeller? Are you constantly agitated, man? What's the tone that you're using? Are you constantly on your phone? Are you constantly doing business? And when you're doing those actions, man, in a way you're showing the message that you don't have any time, and that's unintentionally. Number two is really creating that environment, man. Really creating your environment and really figuring out what do your kids need in order to feel encouraged. And kids is honest. You just gotta be ready for the truth, right? When I ask my kids, my beautiful twins, am I a yeller? Like, yes, daddy, you yell too much. I'm like, okay, all right. Thank you for that. Right, and I had to do some deep reflection. Like, my daddy yelled, my great uncle yelled, right? So I guess I'm gonna yell too. So with that being said, man, I had to really sit back and really reflect and figure out that if I'm coming into my household yelling, man, my kids don't deserve that. So it's something that I intentionally do to try to fight that. It was probably earlier this year, early January 2023, and I got some terrible news from my wife and from my kids, man. And it was like one of those things that kind of stung, right? So my wife said it in such an eloquent way where it's just like, when you come home, sometimes the vibe, she didn't say sometimes, she's like, the vibe changed in the house where I just feel heavy. And it just hit hard because I'm like, dang, that's not my intentions. I wasn't trying to create heaviness here, man. It's just the heaviness of working, the heaviness of working, and trying to provide, right? You're gonna feel this heaviness, right? But the main thing is, man, I felt very vulnerable and hurt, man, because I'm like, dang, like, that's not what I wanted to create for our household. So with that being said, man, I had to have some real honest conversations with my kids and with my wife, man, about doing some check-ins and say, man, how's my mood, right? Is it heavy? And by the grace of God, man, due to me doing check-ins, due to me being more aware of my emotions before coming into my household, man, it hasn't been as heavy. All right, so the third point here is casting a vision. Normally you gotta sit back and think, man, is what type of legacy do you want to leave behind? one of the most important roles that we have, man, is not what we leave behind monetarily, but what values do we leave behind. So one of the important things for me is I want my kids to see my work ethic. I want my kids to see my faith. I want my kids to see that I was loving and that I was a family man and I did a lot for my family. So in order for that to happen, man, I had to set up trips. I had to be very intentional about instilling these in values. So really take the time and really think, man, what values do you really want to leave behind? Because it goes by fast. It goes by extremely fast, and we have to be extremely intentional. If you found this information helpful, please like, subscribe, follow, and share with any man or individual that may benefit from this. Again, I always had a hard time saying goodbye. So peace out. One love. All right, take care. All right, that was a bad joke. All right, I'll probably get somebody else subscribed for me, but whatever. All right, Cliff Huxtable's a great dad, man. Bill Cosby, we don't know. Bill. Again, thank you guys for your time, and see you soon. No? Okay, we're gonna try this again. All right.